Hello students, welcome to my channel. In this video, you're going to learn about the subject Geography, Chapter 1, Resources and Development. For every nation's development, it is completely in the hands of resources. In this chapter, I have split it into two parts. Part 1 carries about classification of resources, resource planning in India, conservation of resources. So if you wanted to watch my upcoming videos, subscribe my channel, give your likes, pass your comments. Don't forget to press the bell button for the future notification. Now, can we start the chapter? The chapter begins with interdependent relationship between nature, technology and institution. Who is interdependent here? Human being is highly interdependent on nature and he accesses the nature through the way of technology, that is his knowledge. Then further, through the way of forming institutions, he utilizes the resources for the economic development. Here you have a definition. Human beings interact with nature through technology and create institutions to accelerate their economic development. In this way, the importance and the usage of nature by the human being, the chapter begins. Classification of resources. Resources are classified on the basis of origin, exhaustibility, ownership and development. Under origin, biotic and abiotic. Under exhaustibility, renewable and non-renewable. Under ownership, individual, community, national and international. Under development, potential resources, developed resources, stock and reserve. In this way, resources are classified. This particular part you can expect in the form of differentiate between biotic and abiotic, renewable and renewable, etc. You will be tested in the board examination. It was believed that resources are free gifts of nature. As a result, human beings used them indiscriminately, and this has led to the following major problems. Due to the exploitation of resources and unequal distribution of resources, it led to the cause of ecological problems, and again it led to the cause of scarcity, and at last once for all it depletes in the sense once for all the resources disappears. These are all the areas which we have to focus a lot for the development of resources. What to do further? We have to go for the sustainability. What is sustainable development? Sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs, which gives the meaning already the resources are limited, that first we have to use it, and the resources which are available now we have to hand over it to the future also. So this is called as sustainable development. In a country like India, which has enormous diversity in the availability of resources, there are regions which are rich in certain types of resources but are deficient in some other resources. It is necessary for the balanced development of India. Some regions of India are rich in certain resources and poor in some other resources. Example, Rajasthan is poor in water resources but rich in solar and wind energy. Some regions are self-sufficient while other regions are very poor in important resources. Example, Madhya Pradesh is rich in many resources but Ladakh is poor in resources. Wastage of resources can be avoided by planning. Environmental pollution can be reduced. Over exploitation of resources can be avoided. So, due to this reason, resource planning is very much needed in India. Here is a question. Describe the process of resource planning in India. It is one of an important question. Resource planning is a technique or skill of proper utilization of resources. There are three stages in this regard. Number 1, identification and listing of resources. Number 2, planning for exploitation. Number 3, match the resources. Here to begin with, number 1, identification and listing of resources. First and foremost, they will identify where the resources are available. Then second step, survey. They'll go for survey. They will design a map and they will check the quality of the resources and the quantity of the resources also. This is the first stage of resource planning. Second planning is planning for the exploitation. Here exploitation gives the meaning how to utilize that resources. Develop a planning structure with suitable technology, skill and institutional setup. That is, here the resources are available. After the first process, they will go for the second process through the way of using the technology and using the knowledge, that is skill and institutional setup. They will start the industry with the support of the government. Third one is resources has to be matched. Match resource development plans with the national development plans. Here the resources are available. First and second step is over. Now it has to match with the place where the resources are not available, and simultaneously that resources has to be utilized for the nation's development also. So in this way, in India, resource planning is carried on in 3 stages. Gandhiji was very apt in voicing his concern about resource conservation in these words: "There is enough for everybody's need and not for anybody's greed." Greedy and selfish individuals and the exploitative nature of modern technology are the root cause for resource depletion. He was against mass production and wanted to replace it with production by masses. So, this particular part will be tested through the way of the question like, what were Gandhiji's view of conservation of resources?